Hello, everyone. This is our, what is it? Our debut video podcast of From the Floor Up with Lindsay the Stager. My last name is Wilson. I am married to a man whose last name is Mears. But for the first 6 years of my 8-year-old daughter's life, she thought that my last name was the Stager. That's my business, Lindsay the Stager. I am a home stager / decorator. And I'm going to be here talking to you. We're going to cover all topics: kids, husbands, work, single working mamas, urinary tract infections. We're going to cover it all from the floor up, is my point. And somewhere along the lines, we're going to talk to realtors, other designers, other stagers. We're going to talk about our main purpose for being here, which is Florally, this amazing floor source. And here's David Requa, my guest today, who started the whole shebang. Hi, David.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Wilson, and you're watching the Design Time From the Floor Up video podcast.
Good morning. It's nice to be a guest on your own show.
Right.
So yeah, I'm David Requa. I am the CEO and founding partner of Florally. And we're a flooring company, but we created Design Time not for to sell floors, but really to just kind of connect our audience with interesting information about design. Interior design, making your house look beautiful. We know obviously that floors are a part of that, but there's a lot of other elements that go into making a beautiful home, from the paint colors to the decor to plants like Lindsay has next to her over here, and all kinds of fun stuff. So this concept was really just about let's connect people to really cool information about how to put together a house, how to make it look cool. Like everyone's watching HGTV, and at HGTV you'll get some cool ideas and some inspiration. But we want to provide even more, granular information. Like let's get down to the nitty gritty, and let's not have all the drama that you get with your HGTV shows. We're just gonna have a little bit of fun.
Oh, I don't know about that, Lindsay. David. I think there's going to be some drama here. Isn't that why you brought me on?
Well, that's my little secret.
That's the hidden part of L to the S, Lindsay the Stager. We're going to act like it's not dramatic, but really, you never know.
You never know. But we're so excited to get this going. This is something we've been working on for a few months to kind of get in the works. And I just hope people find it entertaining. And that's what we're here to do, is sort of entertain and educate at the same time. Let's talk about design. Let's talk about style. Let's talk about UTIs, like Lindsay said.
Worst pain ever. Give me another C-section, crush my pelvis again. But a UTI is the worst thing that will wake you up and just ruin your week.
Yeah, I'm a dude.
And you know what?
I have never had one of those, and I
can't believe that this is like what we're talking about on the first one, but dudes are the ones that give it to the girls, the UTI.
We're sorry.
It's all about you and your dirty splooge. Or whatever's on your fingers or your mouth that goes into the hoo-ha. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're just coming out swinging. I love that I can't see Brittany's face anymore, because I know that she is.
I know.
Right
She's
now.
like, how did I get into this? What?
Here's face down. Oh, this is good stuff.
Awesome. So what kind of UTI design should we go with?
This is going to be the opening clip. We're going to run our first broadcast on this.
Because I think when everybody hears UTI, they absolutely want to tune in. They're like, yes, let's listen to that. We want to hear about the dirty splooge.
Dirty splooge. I had no comments about that.
I think it is going to be really great when my father and my mother-in-law listen to this. and my father-in-law and my
Well, I
mother.
mean, you have 2 kids, Lindsay. This is not a surprise at this
those
point.
kids will be listening to it too eventually. Well, they don't understand it now.
Someday. It'll be years before they know what the dirty splooge is. They're young still.
Thank God. Just for our audience, the 2 that are still with us.
My kids are more impressionable. They're 18 and 20.
Right.
They're already figuring all this stuff out.
Can you guys believe that David has 2 children that are 18 and 20? I mean, hold on. Let me just. How old are you?
I'm 50.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm 47, at 3 years younger than my amazing creator, David. I'm 3 years younger than you. And you have an 18 and 20-year-old, and I have what? An 8 and 2.5-year-old. Who does that? Celebrities.
Celebrity. Are you a celebrity? Is that what
No, not even close. That's what I'm saying. I shouldn't be doing this.
I might be behind you. I might be right behind you here again soon. We'll see.
You're going to be behind me.
Yeah, we are.
What?
We're on TV now. This is a TV show.
All right. So what should we talk about now?
All right. So let's talk about, if we're going to get into it and actually, try to have a show. Let's chat about, what I know, right? So if we're going to be talking about design stuff, this is the first episode. I'm your first guest. And
can I ask you a question, like for reals? Yeah. I actually have a client who I'm going over tomorrow to help. And the first thing she said is, I need new floors. And I was like, oh, I got it. Florally.
Perfect. I need to get you.
So what do I do? How does it go?
I need to get you some samples. I say you're meeting her tomorrow. It's going to be tough for me to do. Today's a holiday. Wait, are you going to meet her in Raleigh, or are you meeting her in?
I'm going to meet her in Raleigh. Yeah.
All right, I'll get you some samples somehow. What time are you meeting her?
I think 11.
11?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
It's 11.
Let me work on that. I'm in Florida, but my progeny is in Raleigh, and I can send him on a goose chase for you.
So how many floor samples would she get to look at?
I've got 32 and my main line, and I've got another line. I've got another line that's got another 14, and then I've got another line that's got another 17. So I got a lot of floors.
Okay.
So it just depends on.
We got a lot of floors, people. We got a lot of floors.
We got a lot of floors, and that's what we do.
Good.
So,
and they range in color from what? Hardwoods to gray tones and blondes and darks.
Yeah, all that stuff. We got it all. I feel like, and you can talk. Well, this could be a great, topic to start with. We see a lot of customers coming through. On the flooring side, we get a lot of messages through some of our marketing, and I still get a lot of people asking for grays. But I know you've been over grays for a while. I've noticed recently a trend towards more browns that we're selling. A lot of people still asking for grays, but it seems like we're selling more of the more natural brown colors. Are you seeing that trend in your line of work?
So it's interesting that you say that, because of all of the kitchen selections that I've made for builders or helped sellers or helped new homeowners select, from backsplashes to countertops to cabinets to a different color island, which is a trend. Finally, Lindsay the Stager has moved her family out of our home inside the Beltline to add 1,000 square feet. We are living in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. Please help me. But we just got to choose the color of our cabinets. Was it gray? No. Was it white? Nope.
Really?
I know. Well, we went with the white cabinets because white kitchens are not going anywhere anytime soon. Trust. Right. We went with the white cabinets around the perimeter, but and I did not think my husband was going to let me do this, because even though he is an art director for a nutrition company and does online marketing, building websites, copy, editing, all that stuff, and is just as creative as I am, which makes it very hard, we picked navy.
I knew you were going to say navy.
You did?
But with the white uppers.
Yeah.
So the white uppers and the navy.
And I'm very surprised that we did that because I didn't want it to be nautical, but it's not. And I think the way that we stay away from going nautical is we're going to go really dark with the floors. We have these beautiful hardwood original floors that we're going to refinish, but we're going to stay with a dark tone. And I think that that keeps it from being so trendy with like these, you know, everybody's trying to like mix this gray that won't go away into their floors. And sometimes, I mean, a lot of the time it looks really great. I've picked out a lot of gray tone floors. Obviously, everybody is not refinishing like we are, but they're going with the LVP. For anybody that wonders about that, I don't think people understand what we're saying when we say LVP. It's luxury vinyl plank, or they get confused because we could also say LVT as in Tom, which is luxury vinyl tile, and they're both the same. Right?
Yeah, that's right. You know, what's funny is I sell this stuff. I'm in the industry. I hear them use or kind of twist it up so many times.
I know.
In the industry that even I can't keep it clear. I referred to LVP, the luxury vinyl plank, as the wood look stuff. So it's longer. Luxury vinyl tile is actually a product we sell. Like we have a 12 by 24 or 18 by 36. It's still luxury vinyl, so it's the same material, but it's a tile look instead of a plank look.
So the luxury vinyl tile you would be using more in your kitchens and bathrooms.
Correct.
The plank you would have like in your living room entryway. It can flow into your kitchen and you can keep the whole thing the same, which I love doing because I think it makes the space appear bigger. It doesn't stop the flow with a different kind of flooring. So I say we keep it all in one family and just go with the P, the luxury vinyl plank. Then that way the luxury vinyl tile is in that family.
I'm good with that. And honestly, that's sort of how I do it. Like I say, I see in the industry, you know, I'm talking to other industry professionals, you know, we're a manufacturer. So I talk to other suppliers and manufacturers, and it's just common. They, or even flooring store owners will call it just LVT when they mean, or what I interpret as LVP. So it can be a little confusing. I guess for our audience, it's just useful to know that there are, you know, that LVT and LVP are essentially the same thing. They're made out of the same materials. It may just come down to a little bit of a different design style between the LVP.
It's hard. Like, what if people think that we're saying LVC and they're like, is that luxury vinyl ceramic? And you're like, no, that's not. No. Cut.
That's not a thing. Yeah. And also, I hear SPC a lot. People will say SPC. Which
what does that say? What does that spell out?
Foam polymer core, which is the same as LVP, but they'll refer to it as SPC.
I haven't heard that. Say it one more time. SPC.
SPC.
SPC. SPC. P as in Paul.
Yeah, P as in Paul.
Paula.
Yep. So that's often referred to as that as well. But that, again, that's the same as LVP. So
wait. What are you shortening SPC to from?
It stands for stone polymer core.
Oh.
Yeah. It's
What's
a type
of
flooring that is stone based. It's going to be your waterproof flooring will be SPC. You'll see it on the box a lot of times when you buy it. It'll say.
I love that. I've never heard that before. Thank you for teaching me that.
Yeah, I think if you're shopping, that's a confusing thing, and maybe that's something we're clearing up now for a few people. You know, when you're shopping, you got all these terms thrown at you, like, what is this? What is that? Should I care about this? Should I care about that? LVP, SPC, LVT is essentially all the same exact stuff. It's so
how much? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. It's a stone core product. It's the waterproof that everyone's asking for because it's made out of crushed limestone aggregate mixed with PVC, polyvinyl carbonate, which is the bonding agent. If you can imagine, if you just crushed some limestone and, you know, it's pretty much dust or pieces, you know, at that point, it doesn't stick together. So the PVC is what makes the the products stick together. It's the bonding agent that holds the floor. But importantly, what the buyer's going to care about is that it's waterproof. It's stone and
durable,
and plastic, essentially.
Child
So
friendly.
Yes.
Family, dog, cat friendly. That's very
right.
important to me.
Yeah, and a lot of
people. Besides me. How much does it cost? What's the price?
Prices are all over the place, just like any product. I mean, you can walk into Lowe's or Home Depot and buy, a really cheap luxury vinyl plank product in the $200 to $250 range per square foot. Mm-hmm. Those products that you'll see in those big box stores, however, typically they do not have the same ratios of limestone to PVC or vinyl. Mm-hmm. What ends up happening is those products, because they cut a few corners in the manufacturing process, those products are very brittle and they break easy because of the corners that they're cutting. They don't have the right ratio.
Is that breaking from like a big fat person walking on them, or is it like a platter being thrown on the floor?
Generally, it's going to be from wear and tear of people walking on them. So because they're more brittle, the more they're sustaining traffic, that putting pressure on the products, and so they start to snap. In particular, what breaks is the locking mechanisms that hold the planks together. So what ends up happening is when that breakage happens, those floors will start to kind of cup a little bit at the edge, and then if water does get into the cracks, the seal's been sort of broken, and they'll start to fail. The product will start to fail. So you
don't want to go and buy the cheap product at Lowe's and Home Depot. You want to go to Florally, because why?
Well, we just got a higher quality manufacturing process. So as I mentioned, the ratio of aggregate to vinyl is very important. And the more pure poly vinyl that you have in the product, the stronger the bond and the more flex that you have. So what ends up happening is you get, as people walk on the floors give a little bit more. They're not stressed out. They're not so brittle. And so they're able to sustain and, over long periods of time, high traffic, kids playing, big dogs, furniture sliding around, things like that. The other important thing to look for with luxury vinyl plank is the wear layers. So when you get to those, big box store products, a lot of times, that $200 to $250 range, you're looking at a 4 mil wear layer, which is the coating that goes on top of the print that you see. The print is what gives you the wood look or the tile look. And that print needs to be protected. If you can imagine a sheet of paper over the top of a piece of wood or something, and you step on it, right? That sheet of paper is going to just disintegrate. So the coating that goes over the sheet of paper becomes super important to protecting it. So a 12 or a 20 mil wear layer product that goes over the surface of that design layer is going to be what helps the design layer last over time, so that when big dogs are walking over it, when kids are running over it, when water gets on it, it's like having 6 or 7 layers over that design layer instead of just one, like you'll see with the 4 mil product. So it literally is 5 times more durable, and it doesn't cost 5 times the price.
Yeah, how much does it cost? How much does Florally cost? We're
a manufacturer, so we sell through dealers. Yeah. So each individual dealer gets to, kind of set their own price points. But the floors generally are going to range from that maybe $3.29 range to it actually goes up into the $5.99 to $6.29, just depending on the thickness and then that coating that goes over the top of it. We also have some floors that have special protection coating that goes over the top of it that gives it even a little extra strength as well. So
what should I quote this client tomorrow? Let's say she has 3,500 square feet. What does that cost?
Again, it just matters. It depends what she picks. if she picks our 7.5 millimeter thickness 20 mil product, that's going to run a little bit more. We also have herringbone products. Those are a little bit more expensive. It's beautiful stuff. We've got different thicknesses, different wear layers. So we've got something that'll fit for anybody, but it really is going to depend on style choices, color options, thickness. There's a few variables in there.
What do you say to the people such as myself that say, no, we don't want to do the new LVP. We just want to refinish our originals?
That just comes down to, well, two things: personal choice. I happen to love hardwood floors, natural hardwood floors.
Yeah.
The issue generally, and why people have shied away from that a little bit recently, is it probably costs as much or more to refinish your floors as it does to get new LVP, which is why a lot of people will make that switch, because when you sand and refinish the floors, it's still that same wood product, so they're still going to get beat up again. If you have a hard lifestyle, if you have big dogs, you have small children, the floors will look great for a couple of years, and then time will start taking its toll on the floor. So you can sand and stain a few times. That's a great thing about a 3/4 inch hardwood product, is you can sand and stain them usually 3 or 4 times before you probably shouldn't do that anymore. But
the Design Time from the Floor Up podcast is sponsored by Florally, your premier source for designer-inspired floors. Use Florally's live chat with real human beings to answer your flooring questions and even book a free in-home consultation.
David, where are you right now?
What's that?
Where are you, like, in the world right now?
I'm in Pensacola, Florida.
What are you doing there?
I'm visiting my girlfriend.
Aw.
Actually, I kind of partially live here right now.
Because if you're not in Pensacola, you're in Raleigh, where I am.
That's correct.
And I'm at the beach right now. I tried to find like this one little corner of our beach house that is not infested with toys or dirty diapers or laundry.
That's why I'm
sitting next to this, like, oh, thanks. This tropical plant I thought really added to the ambiance. It's literally like all the space that I have. Like if you looked around me, you would see an unmade bed with like everything everywhere. But I just wanted to, aside from all of the educational experience that you are giving us on this show right now, I think that we need to tell people like what we're doing, where we're from, why we're here.
Yeah, that's great.
How we met, David.
We'll check it. Well, first off, let me do a little background check, because somehow your background turned out better than mine. But I did manage to position myself. Check this out, in front of the monstrosity. Look at this cat monstrosity over here. I hit it with my giant head. So good.
You are so camouflaging that. Your head is perfect.
I didn't even know it was there.
Yes, your big head is covering that.
Yeah, so I'm down here.
Okay, go ahead.
It's beautiful down here. I made my first trip here about 3 weeks ago, and my girlfriend is in the Navy. She's representing the United States of America. So I am now. I got my little Navy hat, and we're down here.
Could you wear a Navy hat next time, or like do you have one right? Can you put on a Navy hat? That would be fun. Like a
next time
wardrobe prop.
I'll rock the Navy hat. Yeah. I can do that.
I wonder if I have a hat.
It's Monday morning. It's Labor Day, so they're not doing any flybys today. But the Blue Angels are down here, and every now and again we hear the planes. They do practice on Tuesday and Wednesdays.
That is way cool.
Planes go humming by. They're loud, and they're pretty cool. They'll roll by like 4 at a time in perfect harmony. It's pretty cool.
That is really cool. What was I just going to ask you? Something about Pensacola, Florida. Can you see that little thing when it comes down that says Creighton Kids Sale, 2 days left?
I don't see that.
Like the little ads that I'm getting on my computer. Okay, good. Let's talk about how we met. Do you remember?
I sure do.
Let me hear what you have, and let me see if mine's better.
Networking group.
That's right, BNI.
That's right. Wasn't that? I think it was at Linwood Grill, wasn't it?
Heck yeah, best salad I've ever had. I like wake up at night craving it like I'm pregnant, but I'm not.
There's a shout out to Linwood Grill. Hey, future sponsors of America.
So good. It was so good. So for people that don't know what BNI is, B, N as in night owl, I as in I, me, myself, and I. It's Business Networking International, right?
Yep.
And let's say that there's 20 seats in this group, and there's only one seat for every different kind of business. Like, I'm the stager, Sheila is the realtor, David is the insurance guy, Curtis is the guy that will write your will, all that stuff. And so there's 20 people in that room, and it's like you have 20 people or 19 people, including yourself, working for you all the time. For instance, the realtor starts with, and what a shout out to BNI that I'm doing right now.
I know, another
I did not mean to go down this road, but I'm going. Here we go. So the realtor sells the house to the people, and then the realtor brings in the stager. That's me. And then they need insurance for their new house because they're moving. And then they need the moving trucks. So there's the guy from Junk Haulers also in the group. And so everybody gets like a job from this one transaction. And it's constantly people referring you. You know, the insurance guy sits down and they're getting their boat insured. But the wife says, I can't believe my husband's spending all of this money on this boat. What I really want is to have the whole house decorated. Ding, 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 ding. They think of Lindsay the stager, and then I go in, and then they say, you know what, we need new window treatments. And I'm like, that's, what's his name? Ted Brown from Gotcha Covered. You know, like we have all of those different people in the seats. So anyway, long story
longer. I feel kind of bad
longer.
for the guy who just lost his boat to do his interior design.
I know. Sorry, buddy.
He just wanted his boat.
Oh, speaking of, you're going to love
Lindsay just
this.
took the boat away. No boat. You're designing now. Sorry.
Well, you can still design, but guess what? My husband just restored an old Boston Whaler. He made it beautiful with like teak floors, a teak dash, all the things. Guess what he's calling it? Guess. I'll give you 3 guesses.
Lindsay's boat.
That would be close. Or the Lindsay, like Linsea, I thought was very creative. No.
Pun.
It's called The Mom's Pissed.
The mom's pick?
Pissed. Mom's
the mom's pissed. They see that sounds about right. You know why? Because the money went to the boat and not to the house.
Totally. And all the hours that he puts into, I have to work on the boat. If we want to get the boat in the water by Labor Day, I got to work on the boat. Oh, you do?
Is the boat in the water by Labor Day?
Yep, boat's in the water.
I'm in Pensacola, dude. The bay is right over here. I'm literally 2 blocks away. You just come down here and pick me up.
It's amazing.
Be out. Mom's pissed.
All right, so back to how you and I met. You were in the seat for... What were you doing back then? You're such an entrepreneurial, you're like a serial entrepreneur.
I was in marketing, so graphic design and marketing.
That was awesome. And we became friends like immediately, like lobsters.
Yeah, you came and sat next to me, and we just you were just you, and I was just me, so that was it.
Kind of like how we still are. We've never dated. We've always just been platonic, really good friends, and we get together, and when we get together, we have amazing ideas.
It's so much fun.
And then this major project that we worked on, which I will never, ever go near again, I actually got this business from the BNI group.
Oh gosh, the senior citizen.
So get this, the girl who sells the payroll, Samantha Chavot, who I love Loverstein still to this day, she was doing the payroll for an assisted living facility. And they said, we need to revamp this whole place. And she was like, I have the girl for you. And so here I am with the design boards that I've never done before. This was like 6 years ago. For this 3-story assisted living facility where I had to design furniture that old people could like get up and out of. And so here's David and I making this happen, and we made it beautiful, but it was so hard. I'll never do anything like that again.
It was, challenging, but anytime you're in the big construction project like that,
I like just going into somebody's home, using what they have, making it beautiful. Ta-da! Or I love shopping with clients and getting a feel for what they're looking for to make their home better. But like designing furniture that I had no idea what I could even do with like the wipeable seats and the make sure that your elbows, that the old people could get their elbow on it to heave ho out of it. Also, it seemed like everything was my fault. Like when the new the new carpeting was put in upstairs, and I had just had this beautiful wood facade fireplace made by Fabiano, who was also in the B&I group.
That's cool. Yeah.
And then the guys that put the carpeting in upstairs, when they were putting the carpeting in, they forgot to rehook the washer back into the plug of the pipe. Then that creates a whole flood, which comes down on my brand new fireplace facade. And they call me at 7:30 in the morning, and I'm 45 minutes away. And I'm like, oh, why is this my problem? That was hard.
Construction sucks.
So anyway, that's how we met.
Why I'm in manufacturing now, by the way.
Yeah.
This is way more fun. I just sell the stuff, let somebody else figure out how to put it in.
I just got a text from Brittany. What did it say? Can you send that to me again?
Did I get one too?
Because I just
what if none of this got recorded?
What's designer direct?
I love when our producer chops in. This is like a real show.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like when, what's his name from the Kelly Ripa and, what's his name? They always say his name. It's, something. It's like a last name. And they're always like,
I don't really pay attention to morning television.
I know. I don't either.
But we're on the move.
Sorry.
She wants us to talk about Designer Direct.
What is that?
That awesome program I built for designers.
Oh, awesome. Let's talk about that.
Remember? Yeah, okay, cool. So
David, let's talk about Designer Direct, this awesome program that you built for all of our viewers.
Designer Direct, this awesome program that I built. So we knew we had the show coming up and that we wanted to connect with designers, and we're looking for a way to support the designers in their business and what they got going on. So same deal I offered you when we talked on the phone. You inspired me to come up with Designer Direct. Let's call it that. That's right. And so with our Designer Direct program, we work directly with the designers. We will send the designers some flooring samples that they can then show their clients and then make a decision about which of those samples that they'd like to have in their home. And when they do, the Designer Direct program, the designer gets a fixed price. So we'll give you, as a designer, a price for the floors, and then it's a wholesale price. So then you're allowed to sell that floor to the client at a retail price, which is like a normal price, or give even a little bit of a discount, and then the designer will actually make the difference between whatever they sell the floors at and our wholesale price that we've agreed to.
That's what I'm talking about. That's amazing.
It's a way to support our designers and their business.
So can you tell us what that price is?
Floors as well. What's that?
Can you tell us what that price is?
Not on TV.
Okay. Just wanted to be clear there.
Yeah, we don't want to do that because your customers are going to watch this and they're going to know how much money you're making. And then you're going to go, Oh. They're going to be like, yeah, Lindsay, you got to give me the wholesale price. And you'll be like, no, I want to make some money.
Right.
Lindsay got to get paid.
Cut. Let's cut all of that out.
Yeah, we cut all that out. You've been trying to fish prices out of me this whole conversation. I've been trying.
I know.
I've been ducking and diving.
Sorry.
This is what I do, by the way. Whenever someone asks price, I start ducking and diving. But because there is a wide variation. It's just a range, and not every floor is the right
created equal.
Right, exactly. Or it's not always the right fit. So it's really more like, well, how are you going to use the floor? Do you have big dogs and pets? Is this a rental home and you have renters come in and they're going to beat the heck out of it? Is it a vacation home and you only go there 3 times a year and you don't have any big pets? Then you can get away with lesser floors. So it's really just about getting to know the project, and so that's why I hate to just throw out a blanket numbers, because then it throws people in the wrong direction. Then they start thinking that the $2 floor at Home Depot is a good product for them, because they hear the $2 number, when in actuality they have 5 kids and 4 dogs, and that $2 floor is going to disintegrate under their feet in 12 months, and it's really a terrible fit, and then you're just flushing money down the toilet. So that's why I sort of try to evade the price question. Isn't necessarily because I don't have an answer. It's because I might not have the right answer for your particular project without the information. So it's real important. People. One of the issues that I see in the flooring industry is that because people don't understand the differences in the floors, and understandably so. I wouldn't know all this stuff if I wasn't in the business either. But because people don't understand it, it's hard to understand the difference of why I should pay $4.29 for a square foot of floor versus $2.29. It all just looks the same to me, and there are big differences. It's just the same as when you're buying a car. Yeah, you buy a car, a Ford Taurus. It's got 4 wheels and a steering wheel. It's going to go down the road. But if you buy a Lexus, there's a reason why it costs a little bit more. The craftsmanship, the quality of the work, the application. Maybe you're getting better gas mileage. All different kinds of things that go into buying a car to make one car more expensive than another, and it's the same with floors.
Do you know anything about countertops?
Nope. Well, I do a little bit, but not enough to talk about. I know what pretty countertops are.
I'm just in this fight about marble versus quartz versus quartzite.
I do know a little bit about that from my days flipping houses. I find the marble looks a little bit nicer. They're nicer, but they're a little bit more. They're a little softer of a stone, so right. I think they're more susceptible to potential damage. So it's a trade-off.
Here's my argument. I think that quartz and marble are priced in the same price range. Marble looks richer, more expensive.
Yeah.
But it's not as durable. For me, a very heavy red wine drinker, if I spill red wine on that marble countertop, I'm screwed. Unless I have it treated every 2 years. Okay, so I have it treated. What's wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you have something that looks more expensive and that has more intricate veining in it that you only have to treat every 2 years? I don't understand what's the big deal of treating it.
I don't know. I have marble. I've spilled wine on it. I've spilled other things on it. I freak out every time I do because I'm like, oh my God, it's going to stain. But I haven't had an issue with it.
What happens? You just wipe it right up, or can you see that there was red wine spilled?
No, I wipe it up, or I hit it with a sponge. Hit it real good with a sponge and some cleaner, and it always cleans.
Right. So what's the big deal?
I was like, they always told me I needed to worry about this marble stuff, but
did you have it treated?
I haven't yet. No. I'm lazy.
So I just want to stop giving marble a bad rap. I want marble to be yes, it's the same amount as quartz and it looks better. Not to mention, you can pick the matte side or the glossy side, which I think is very cool.
That's cool.
Anyway, as you know, we're here to just educate people in things that they didn't know they needed to know that they didn't know. Well,
that's a design thing, right? You've talked a lot here about how you like the design of the marble better than quartz. Quartz can be, to me, nice sometimes. It can be simple if you want like a white countertop. I have a white quartz dining room table, which, by the way, I never want to ever move because it weighs around 9,000 pounds. But it's beautiful, and it's got those little brilliant flecks, the shiny little flecks of like almost diamondy looking texture to it.
Where did you even find that?
It came with the house.
Yeah, and they didn't want to move it.
I'd like to buy this table, and they said yes, please, because they didn't want to move it either.
Oh my god,
it's so big.
Was it a reasonable price or very expensive? Or because they were they just
I got a very reasonable price. I packaged it.
Because they were like, please don't make us move it.
Pretty much.
Let me ask you this. Is there a rug under that heavy table? Good. Because here's another designer tip. Whenever I go into a home, it starts with an initial consultation, and we walk through the entire house. But I hate, and it doesn't work for photos, when you see a wood grain table that gets lost in the wood grain floors and doesn't have any contrast or texture, such as a cozy rug in between. I always recommend that people buy an inexpensive rug. I love going to rugsusa.com. They have fantastic rugs for very inexpensive prices, but I always recommend putting a rug in between the table and the floor. And I feel like a lot of staging 101 that people thought was a good tip years and years ago was to take up all the rugs and show off the hardwood floors. Not necessarily. I like to take up a rug when you walk in the entry so that you can show off the floor asset as soon as you walk in. But I think if you have a dining room table or a coffee table that has the same grain as the floors, you need to break it up, and it looks so much better in pictures, which is what staging is for in the first place.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
That's a great tip. Look at that. It only took us 51 minutes to get our first awesome design tips. I knew we'd get there.
Have we been talking for 51 minutes? I think we should wrap it up. I think we have given these viewers like more than they can even compartmentalize today.
I just hope that no one fell asleep.
Oh, David, how could they fall asleep?
I don't know.
Well,
I mean, between the UTIs and the awesome lesson on
and the palm fronds, I mean, like seriously. Okay, so when are we going to talk next? Are we going to do this like weekly? Does everybody need to check in at a certain time? How do we get these guys back?
Where's that Director Brittany? Oh,
Viewers,
yeah, do that.
Please look out for our YouTube channel and regular updates. It's called From the Floor Up because we're covering it all from the floor up. And it's going to be a weekly video podcast with your host, Lindsay Wilson, aka Lindsay the Stager. And I'm going to be interviewing some amazing people to talk about design. So thanks for watching. I had so much fun talking to you and seeing you in Pensacola, David. Come back to Raleigh where I know that you're there.
I'll be there Wednesday.
In my neck of the woods. Okay, and let's talk about...
I'm going to get you your flooring samples for tomorrow for your meeting.
Awesome. I'm going to get you your flooring.
We'll make it happen.
Awesome. Okay. Toodles.
Peace.
Peace.
Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying this episode, please like, comment, or subscribe. If you don't like it, then f*** off.